Mike Barlack here to entertain you with the help of spin doctors. First time I heard that the Captain Marvel movie starring Brie Larson as Captain Marvel was going to feature a lot of 90s music, that song popped in my head. I could totally hear that song. I don't know, I didn't see the movie, so I don't know if they did it, but I could totally see or hear that song being played during a fight sequence in Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson. That joke's probably moot now that her career is pretty much dead. And spin doctors, I always thought of them as like blues traveler with a little more reggae flavor. Okay, so for this video, we're going to be doing a little audio time traveling. I did this kind of sort of once before, over a year ago, last year, Halloween, the night of the Killer Bowel Movement, where we traveled to 1997 to hear some audio that we did when we were kids. This time, we're going to go to Thanksgiving, after this long Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving 1994. I have the original cassettes from when we were kids. But 15 years ago I transferred all that stuff to CD, so I'll be able to play it on a higher quality sound system. And hopefully that will be better and work out. But when I originally had the idea for doing this, I thought the best thing to do is go one tape at a time. For example, Thanksgiving 1994 ended up being 3 90-minute tapes long, and this video will basically consist of tape 1, unless I decide to divide it in 2 parts, because I don't want this video to be too long. Although it might be a little long, because this is the first time I'm doing it, and I will have to include explanations for stuff. When I was a kid, I basically would just wrap the tape up in a piece of paper, and over the years, that piece of paper became a laminated with mailing tape, which essentially became the case for these tapes that we made when we were growing up. 90-minute tapes, although this video will not be 90 minutes, because I will be editing out what most 70 to 80% of these tapes are copyrighted material, because we played music. We basically pretended like we had a radio show and we'd play music and do stuff in between the music. So as long as I edit out all the intellectual property that doesn't belong to me, I think this could work. These tapes also represent the aftermath of the authorities taking us away from our father, and for me at least, the aftermath of living in foster care. My sisters would continue to live in foster care, and these audio tapes basically represent our visitations. My mom would have to go pick them up, and we would have visitations with my sisters while I was already living with my mother. So that's what these tapes represent, us just trying to make our own fun. Just a personal note, we all have our thing we do to deal with the trials and tribulations of life. Some people drink, some people smoke, some people use narcotics. I record stuff. I just press record. Boy, posting these videos on social media is gonna save me a small fortune in therapy sessions. Initially, we will be time traveling, so a lot of the audio you'll be hearing will be from 1994, around Thanksgiving time. So I'll go ahead and use what I used before in that other video. I had to fix this thing though, so it needed a new flint. I basically just went to a cigarette store and bought some new flints, put a new flint in here. When I put it back together, I don't have precision hands, so now it squeals when you rev it up. So, but it works. when I had the idea for this too, I knew that the audio you'll be hearing was from 1994, but I will be stopping for sake of commentary. I knew a commentary would be needed for a YouTube audience in playing these tapes. Otherwise, a YouTube audience might think what they're hearing was an audio track of an exorcist. If you recall, last time I did this, I asked if anybody thought that did in fact look like Christopher Lloyd. 1.21 gigawatts! Anyway, it's a crude effect, but the whole point is to communicate that what you're going to hear is actually from another time period. Thanksgiving, 1994.
Hey, what's up, dudes? Yeah, what's up? We're back. WABC, the hot mix. We're back, and we got a real good long show for you folks. We got an 80s special, 80s classic rock from the 80s. We got we're gonna play a whole bunch of country western, a whole bunch of Richard Marx. Yeah, and those of you out there, whoever's a Richard Marx fan, man, isn't it too bad that he doesn't make any Christmas songs? Yeah, this is when Christmas rolls around. This is our Thanksgiving special. Well, when Christmas rolls around, we'll be able to play some of his songs. But I'm sure you'll enjoy what we got fixed up for you for Christmas. Anyways, here's our Thanksgiving show, and this show we got a real treat for you, and we'll have a real treat beginning right after these messages from our sponsors. People, do you want to end it all? Do you think life is just too hard to bear? Well, come to the Hancock Building in Chicago. You get a free last meal and a free doggy bag to put all your bones in when you take that big jump. So don't delay. Take that big jump today at the Hancock Building.
I had to pause it there. I think that I never heard it, but I think I got that from something. My dad used to say that when we were kids. I think it was from a Cheech and Chong record that he heard, and he would repeat that over and over again, and that's why I remembered it.
Little Billy, not my lover. He's just the boy who said that I don't need buns. But I swear I didn't get none. That's right, folks. Michael Jackson is married, and that's the end of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Farrell here to introduce an old but cool game. Tell them about it, Shannon. Cool game, but it's old. Oh, well, what about it? What are you going to do? What's all this time? What's happening? What's that noise? Well, you got it. Well, what are you doing now? Anyway, she's too involved in the game, folks. We ain't going to get another word out of her. Ladies and gentlemen, come to Al's Joint on Washington Boulevard. You can get every kind of food that you could ever think of, except for chocolate-covered ants and chocolate-covered roaches. For God's sake, who the hell would eat such disgusting food? All right, folks, back to start our music now for our for our Thanksgiving show.
Okay, some of that bears explanation. When we were kids, our opinion of Michael Jackson was constantly changing. You know, whatever I guess they were saying about him in the news. One day all three of us actually, both me and my sisters, One day we liked them, and the next day, oh yeah, we don't like them. we were kids. What do you want? But I guess I should give my updated modern day opinion of that whole thing. I would say, knowing everything I know now about that subject matter, especially more recent events in history, I would say that MJ was an easy target for the specific accusations against him. Like I said, when we were kids, our opinion was always changing. I don't know 100% one way or another, but I will say that, in my opinion, Michael Jackson was an easy target for the specific accusations against him. Especially knowing what we know now with Harvey Weinstein and all that crap. So, it would make sense that the real guilty parties would want a pawn, and I think Michael Jackson fit that description. But that thing that we said in that tape, that's not ours. That was actually from In Living Color. So there's an In Living Color skit out there where, and that's where we got it from. But the hee part, that was my sister Michelle. My younger sister Shannon would always be playing Nintendo when we would be recording these tapes, so I just made it an integrated part. Of course, maybe you turn the sound down, though, when we were doing other stuff. And now starts the portion of the tape that I'll be editing out 90% of, because it involves intellectual property that doesn't belong to me.
He sings it with Lionel Richie from his Paid Vacation album. It's called The Way She Loves Me. So listen for Lionel Richie there in the background, especially the ending. You'll hear him very good at the ending there. It's the LP version. Crazy about the way. Let me tell you about the way he loved me. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah! Sing it, Lionel Richie and Richard Marx.
I had that CD.
All right, folks, that was Richard Marx with Lionel Richie singing The Way She Loves Me. And now here's a dedication from Michelle Perlak to Jason Edward Watser. But she wants to be called Michelle Watser, so... But anyways, Watser man out there, she's still out here thinking about you. What are you going to dedicate? Whitney Houston, I will always love you. Alrighty, well, you heard it from Michelle Perlak, Josh Edward Watser. She's still here and still thinking about you. And here's I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
I did not have that CD. Oftentimes I would plan on what songs I wanted to include on our little thing here, and I would have to record them off the radio in order to play them, and that would be the case with that one. Oftentimes I would have my sisters dedicate songs to whatever guy they happen to be pining over in school that particular week or month or whatever. My sister Michelle was trying to sing like Whitney Houston. I think all of us early on had to figure this out. It's best to use your own singing ability and incorporate what you can do. Because I have other footage of my sister where she's singing good.
Well, there you have it, folks. Whitney Houston with I Will Always Love You, a dedication from Michelle to her boyfriend. And now we're going to get into the country western spirit. Here's Reba McEntire with Is There Life Out There?
The songs we could play were limited to my CD collection, which I did have a job at this point. I was working at Dunkin' Donuts. I remember, I think my mom had to fill out paperwork because you can only work legally at a certain age unless you have a note, whatever. But I was working part-time, just a few hours after school at Dunkin' Donuts, so I was making a little money. So I had some CDs, including my first three CDs I ever bought was John Cicada's, debut album, Huey Lewis and the News Sport, and Peter Gabriel's 16 Golden Hits. Although I think a week later I did buy Huey Lewis and the News Hard at Play, which I'm glad I did, because that's a hard one to come by these days. But the music we played was basically limited to my CD collection, songs I recorded off the radio, and whatever tapes my ma had. Reba McEntire. I had, since this is Thanksgiving, 1994, I had been working probably through the summer. Which, as I'm making these tapes, I realized that's why early on, later on we started doing shows in the summer, but early on we wouldn't really be doing this in the summer because, well, I want to be outside when it's summer, I want to be inside recording.
And that was Reba McEntire with Is There Life Out There? Alright folks, we're going to get into our 80s rock and roll special here, and we're going to start out with a song which is one of my personal favorites when I was a kid. Me and my sister used to make fun of it though, and say a lot of other things instead of what was really the words. But anyways, here it is. Wake me up before you go. Wake me up to buy a cocoa with marshmallows. Oh, all right. That was awesome, man. For our 80s rock and roll, their special, Wake Me Up Before You Go. Or like me and my sister say, wake me up to buy a cocoa with marshmallows. Well, anyways, here's our next song. We're going to dedicate this next song to Shannon on account that she likes rap. You like rap? Yeah? All right.
Oftentimes, when we were doing this, part of this was also us reminiscing and maybe even trying to make sense of those 6 years before the authorities took us away from our father. But we also prided ourselves on playing all these different genres of music. Well, so far what you heard, I'd be willing to bet, definitely back then, but I'd be even to bet even now, maybe in somebody's private music set that they set up themselves. But I'd be willing to bet there's no radio or streaming service where you would hear those songs in a single set. I'd be willing to, yeah.
Here's some rap music for you to dance to. It's called I Wanna Turn You On.
I really like that song. I can't tell you who did it because I recorded it off the radio when I was a child, and I'd have to Google it. I'll have to Google it and put it down in the descriptions later on. But that was one of my favorite rap songs back then.
Yeah, all right, rap. All right, that was I Want to Turn You On. Dedication for Shannon. She likes rap, don't you, Shannon? Yep. And then we had our 80s special with our 80s specials with Wake Me Up Before You Go. And then we had a little country western there with Reba McEntire, Is There Life Out There? And then a dedication from Michelle to her boyfriend, Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. And we started out the whole set with Richard Marx singing The Way She Loves Me with Lionel Richie in the background. And now a commercial break after a long set of music.
Hey folks, here's Whoop, there it is.
Correction, folks, that's Whoop, there it is, just a sample, because that's one of the songs we're going to be next. So here's a sample of the songs we're going to be playing next on WABC. And more is up next on WABC. Here's Shannon with an advertisement for the Packers. Kick it, Shannon.
Oh, the Packers are at 2:30 tomorrow. They play the Dallas Cowboys, the Championship Worlds, because the day of the quarterback, he's an awesome quarterback, and he knows how to play. That's why they're in the championship, and the Bears are in first place. Yeah! Man, the bear steak! Bear steak! Packers rule!
Oh my God, we got a conflict here,
Bear
folks.
steak! Packers rule! Bear steak! Packers rule!
Football sucks! Folks,
Jeez. Oh my God. All right, the next bit on here is I used to do this whenever we would record. Just pick up the Bible slash TV guide back in the 90s, and just run through and talk about what was going to be on that week.
WABC, I always go down, give the people a rundown of what's going to be on the following week of our show, beyond our show there, as far as the regular TV goes, for all those of you that are misfortunate and don't have cable. So anyways, let's start out with, obviously, Saturday. On Saturday we have, of course, there's RoboCop, which originally was on Fridays, but now it's on Saturdays. And on this week's RoboCop, a doctor by the name of Dr. Mollender, hitches a plot with Pudface Morgan to assassinate the president, and their weapon is RoboCop. So
I think that was the final episode. That show only ran for like 21 episodes. But, I watched it. I'm a nerd.
check out that episode to see what that's all about. Now, moving on to Sunday, we have the most shocking Simpson episode you'll ever see. Homer gives shocking account of home life. So check it out on The Simpsons there at 7 o'clock on Fox. Or, if you don't like that, you can watch it at 7 o'clock on ABC. They're going to have an all-new Before They Were Stars. They talk about people when they were younger. They got John Travolta here. He looks like a Dutch boy with his haircut over here. And a whole bunch of other people there, folks. So check that out if you're into that kind of thing. Or you might want to check out The Father of the Bride is going to be on at 8 o'clock on Channel 7, starring Steve Martin there. And Martin Short is going to be in there, too. So there's two
Yeah, they were even working together back then.
funny guys there.
Funny guys.
And, of course, there's Married with Children at 8 o'clock on Fox. And in this episode, they say, play ball.
You want to see what
Baseball, Bundy style.
Yeah, play balls.
You goddamn sicko! We're on the radio station! You wanna get us kicked off? For God's sake!
Just making people laugh, dude.
Well, anyways, that's Married.
That's Married with Children. I would always seize the opportunity to turn up the volume. I'm not ignorant to. Yeah, that was Chris Farley's influence. I watched that Night Live. Especially if I was struggling to come up with an idea, or something. A lot of that stuff, like I said, I was just reading out of the TV guide. But when I was running out of, I was struggling to come up with ideas. Sometimes I just roar. Chris Farley's influence.
And then, of course, there's the George Carlin show. Oh. And then we move on to Monday. Monday has
I actually forgot that, yeah, in the early to mid 90s, George Carlin had a show.
And in this episode, a man steals $500,000 from Jane, but that's nothing compared to what happens to Sydney. So check it out on Merrill's Place. Now moving on to Tuesday, Rudolph the Red-Nosed.
Oh shit. Okay, I gotta say more about Merrill's Place. So, I'll have to Google that George Carlin thing. Yeah. But Merrill's Place was basically a primetime soap opera. When I was a kid, I thought at the time, that show was true to what relationships were like in the West. Not where I lived, of course, but I thought that's how relations went. in the West. But I have to admit, I secretly loved the Kimberly character, even though she was the schmuck and she was the one that the doctor Michael was having an affair on his wife Jane with. I'm remembering the names of these characters now. I haven't seen these shows since 1994, but I did take some notes. I don't remember what kind of a doctor Kimberly was, but she was not a bomb expert. I secretly loved the Kimberly character because she blew the place up. But she only blew up a third of it. Which I guess does kind of make sense because the show must go on. Yeah, these people, it didn't matter if one of your tenants blew up your apartment building. These people still had to make it to their glorified jobs in the morning. Oh, God. Allison, Amanda, Billy, Dr. Michael. The show may have started out family friendly, for lack of a better term. But all that changed when the younger sister, Sydney, showed up in the series. If there were any morals at all at that point. But in my head, I'm remembering a scene where the look on the Michael character's face when he realizes that the sister, Sydney, wants to have an affair with him, and she doesn't care that her sister, Jane, is his ex-wife. It's just the look on his face like, I'm a dumb, oversexed male. Oh, my God. All right, back to 1994, Thanksgiving.
Animation. A clay animation is going to be on Channel 2. Or at 7 o'clock, you can watch a movie event, a world premiere movie. Okay, it's about Madonna's life. It's called Madonna Innocence Lost. And Madonna is played by the girl who plays Madonna in this movie is named Tarum Matthews there. So check that out if you want to check that out there on Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Fox. Then on Wednesday of next week, you can watch Red Heat starring James Belushi and Arnold Schwarzenegger there. Or you could turn into Fox for 90210. Michelle Paralak has to advertise that for you. Here you go, Michelle. Advertise 90210 for her.
Only one thing could come between Brandon and Kelly. Her name is Emily. Now to an all new 7 o'clock p.m. all new on Fox. And they also kind of get into trouble. They go into a party and they get up and do a